You're looking at the best there
Austin
is.
316.
What do you guys want to talk about?
I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest. I'm the best. I'm the best in the world.
Let me talk to you. Yeah.
You will rest in peace.
This is WWE Wrestling Legend Hall of Famer Tito Santana, and you are listening to the Source Wrestling Podcast. Arriba!
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to episode 16 of the Source WWE AEW All Things Wrestling Podcast with Joe
And
Mike. Yeah.
Let
us talk to you. Today we shall talk to you about Friday Night Smackdown 3/8/24, AEW Rampage 3/8/24, and we will end it all with AEW Collision 3/9/24. Let's go. It's Smackdown time. March 8th, 2024, WWE Friday Night Smackdown at the American Airlines Arena in Dallas, Texas. We open the show with some visuals of all the big guys arriving to the venue. We have The Rock pulling up in an old school pickup truck, cowboy hat. He's in Dallas.
Looking good.
Got to do that. And, we get shots of everyone showing up from this tag team match. And then we get shots of their locker rooms, which are heavily, heavily guarded by not so intimidating looking security, but they are heavily guarded. And we wonder what's going to go on when it's time for them to come out and address this challenge, this answer. Let's just get right into it, guys. Opening segment, Ayo! It's Logan Paul, everyone's favorite heel. He's making his way to the ring, big shit-eating grin on his face.
Sunglasses on.
Oh, yeah, yep. He's in cool guy mode. He's got to have something interesting to say. He starts off this segment by saying Dallas is kind of special to him. He's got two reasons why it's special. Number one, he had his first ever match, WWE match in Dallas at WrestleMania. So that's number one. And number two is Dallas is special for the second reason. He's announcing that Prime Hydration is going to be the WWE's first ever ring promoted
Big
brand.
Deal. They had Cherry Freeze unveiled
right
in the middle
of the ring.
And I think, what's his name? MTI?
It's KSI.
KSI.
Yes, KSI.
He came out with a strawberry banana, which we're looking for.
Yep, we haven't found one yet. Got to try one of those strawberry bananas for sure. So Logan Paul explains that this Prime partnership is the biggest deal to happen in WWE history, apparently. First ever in the middle of the ring sponsor for WrestleMania and all PLEs going forward. So that's huge. That is massive. People hate it, I'm sure. But something like this had to be done. AEW's doing it. They have ring promoters. We need all these in-ring sponsors for sure. And
is it needed? I don't know if it's.
I mean, it's just
they have never done it. So
yeah, right. They've never done it.
It's kind of weird for me to see a big Prime bottle in the middle of the ring.
It's going to take some getting used to, yeah.
I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel about it. It kind of upset me a little bit as a traditionalist. But I guess I might have to break out of the norm and try something new and see how it goes.
Man.
But it just feels like it takes the focus off the WWE a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit boosting the Prime sales, I guess.
But hey, I do like Prime.
We love Prime.
I do.
Yeah, love it. So for me, it's going to have to take some getting used to for sure, to seeing that in the middle of the ring for WrestleMania and every PLE going forward. Now, incoming Randy Orton, okay? He's not here to shake hands. He's not here to tell you how good Prime is. He's obviously here for one reason, that's to get after Logan Paul. With the screw job that Logan pulled at the Elimination Chamber match. And Randy tries getting his hands on the Maverick Logan Paul. He actually escapes. He gets away. And who's left in the ring with Randy Orton? It's poor KSI. Not a wrestler.
With his back turned.
So he turns around and gets a beautiful, glorious RKO out of nowhere. And Randy
stares down Logan Paul.
Right, and I believe I know this happened during the segment. I don't know if it was before or after this, but he also took a sip of that strawberry banana prime and said it was pretty good.
He did.
He did. So
that was pretty good.
We're looking for one of those. First match of the night. It is a tag team match with some big names. It is Randy Orton, the Viper. It is Kevin Owens. That's one team, and then they're going against the team of Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, everyone's favorite team. Just kidding. Yeah, this match was pretty cool. The fact that they
are good for each other.
Yes, they are. The fact that they put this match first was pretty cool. You know, you get to see some big names, some real big action right off the bat. We had a failed RKO here. Randy's pulling out all his big spots. You know, the snap power slam that he does to perfection. That hang up DDT, the Orton DDT, if you will, on the ropes here. And you know, you love to see it. You love Randy you love to see Randy hear those voices and go to that place. And this match, pretty solid. It obviously goes the way you expect it to, with a great big RKO.
Yep.
Finally hits it. 1, 2, 3. Theory and Waller. We'll see you next time. The winners of match number 1.
Coolest part, though, if I can interject, is that it wasn't just any RKO. Kevin.
That was a super one.
Yeah, KO actually lifted him up.
Right,
and,
for like that pop-up.
They did a pop-up RKO,
which is cool because Kevin does the pop-up powerbomb.
Looked at each other afterwards and were kind of like, whoa, like I feel like there was some chemistry there.
Yeah, there's some chemistry.
And I would love to see more of RKO, and that
works.
Because
that works.
KO and
yeah, right.
and Randy, RKO.
They wouldn't have to change the name at all. It would just be...
This is happening.
Team
RKO.
Will it be Team RKO?
And they have their move down.
It's already done. Yeah, it's already done. Winners of match number 1 of the night, Team RKO, or whatever you want to call them. And as they celebrate, we then get interrupted by, you guessed it, it's Logan Paul. He's back out there. He's got the brass knuckles now, so he's got the equalizer. He's feeling confident. Randy then steals the brass knuckles at this point. Logan goes for a kick. He whiffs it. Yeah, nice and slick by Randy there. And Randy then throws the brass knuckles in his tights, inside of his trunks.
He slips them right in there.
Slips them right in.
They're
yep.
Cartoon.
So, you know, Logan's not going to want that pair of brass knucks back. He then exits, and that's the end of that. Pretty exciting start to the show for sure. We cut backstage now after commercial, and it is Bayley. You know, she's not happy. She's not looking chipper at all after what's been going on with Damage Control and Dakota Kai. And, you know, she's just getting interviewed about her WrestleMania match and, you know, how she feels about everything, you know, how everything just fell off for her and Dakota Kai. She mentions that Dakota Kai is using their history against them, and that she's made a lot of enemies throughout the years. But
just very sad,
you know,
Bayley, confused,
very somber, confused, you know? And she says she's made a lot of enemies through the years, but she did it because, you know, the top is where she wanted to get, and, you know, sometimes that's the only way to do that. And Bayley then confirms she's all alone now. She has nobody else, you know, having her back. And she also goes in on the fact that it's made her more focused and that Damage Control has made a giant, massive mistake. You know, I still see Bayley. She's fine. You know, she will get over this heading into WrestleMania, you know, with her big women's championship match. She cannot let this, you know, get in her way of maybe the biggest moment of her career.
And breaking news, I don't know how to take this good or bad,
dun, dun, dun.
But it appears that Brock Lesnar has appeared back on the WWE website, and he is listed. So I don't know what this means exactly, guys. I don't know if we're about to see a Brock Lesnar return to wrestling and he's cleared or whatever the case may be. Maybe time has passed. I don't know, but you know, we might see some Brock Lesnar coming.
We
up.
might,
He's on the
and
webpage, so.
I did see this as well, that he's back on the active online roster. I don't know what this means. Is he being acquitted? We don't know. We won't get into that, but what is a fact is that he is back on the active roster. You heard it here on the Source Wrestling Podcast as we move on. We then cut to Naomi. She's watching Bayley now, and in comes Bianca Belair. Naomi kind of tells Bianca that, she feels bad for Bayley and what she's going through, so on and so forth. And Bianca, shockingly, is like, who cares? You know what I mean? Bayley created Damage Control. She's in the same position that she put Bianca in for the last 2 years. Belair has no remorse for Bayley for any of this. And Naomi was kind of feeling bad. But Bianca, she brings up the fact that Naomi was not there when Bayley was ruining everyone's life for 2 years. I
had a lot of emotions during this segment. Because at first, you go into it and Naomi's all like, I feel bad about Bayley and what's going on. You're like, wow, is there a faction forming? Because how is Bayley going to go against Damage Control? There's got to be some kind of team being formed together, and I think Naomi might be a participant in it.
Right. We don't know.
I think we're seeing a situation where Bianca Belair is acting a lot like Seth Rollins was against Cody for a while.
Yeah.
It's going to be so much more awesome when Bayley and Bianca come together because of their differences. So they're going to build that for a little while. So I do see Bayley being in a faction with Bianca Belair and Naomi.
And
maybe
could be a
even
powerhouse.
Jade Cargill. And that's my 4 right there.
They got to get her going. Yeah. Where is she? Once again.
Because honestly, Cargill was openly speaking about how she didn't like what was going on with Damage Control.
Yes, exactly.
And she even tweeted about it.
She
had
she's playing
that storyline.
Sure.
She's involved somehow in this. It's going to come to fruition at some point. So I'm calling it. You heard it first in the source. My prediction is that Bayley aligns eventually with Naomi, Bianca Belair, and Jade Cargill.
And we just got to ride it out to find out. And to pick it up, match number 2 of the night, we have the almighty Bobby Lashley versus Karrion Kross. And this feud has been going for quite a while now. They're trying to pick up steam with it, I see. I'm still not very invested here because every time they are in the same ring together, it ends where AOP comes out, destroys everything and everyone, and it's another disqualification. A victory for Bobby Lashley, yes, but not the way you want to see it. It happens every time they're in the ring, so... they're probably building for maybe some kind of showcase match at SummerSlam. Let's keep smoking
AOP,
weed now.
AOP really came into that match and just ended it. And there was flashes of hope. I mean, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins came running out to save the day.
Yes.
But it seems that AOP is just too much.
Yeah, they're
and I'm
a
also
lot
sad,
to handle.
Side note, sad that they're not in the new game.
I know. What happened there? We've been playing the crap out of this game.
You would think there'd be some more foresight into what we're going to be having now. Like, even if they're not announced, when they were making the game, they had to have known that this was going to be happening and add them. DLC, very possible.
Right.
I see a DLC with them. I heard a rumor of the Road Warriors.
I would love that because the only way I've ever had them is to go download them on Community Creations.
That last night.
I gotta get on that.
I got a really good one.
There are good ones.
Wow, this is like exactly it.
That's perfect. It's what you need. So, and not to trail off.
It's setting up. It's setting up for Karrion Kross versus Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania. They gotta have some matches,
some early cards,
that aren't title matches,
right? With a big rivalry behind them.
I think a 6-man match.
That would be cool too. That would be cool too. Needless to say, Karrion Kross hits the final prayer on Bobby Lashley, and they walk out once again, on their feet, and it's the Street Profits
they look
and
Bobby.
Yeah, right. Street Profits and Bobby are just down and out.
And what's funny is you literally saw Bobby, aligning with the Street Profits, and you were like, wow, what's this going to be?
Yes,
How
exactly.
This is going to be powerful. Like, who's going to stop them?
And they're getting stomped.
And then all of a sudden, Karrion Kross,
the Final Testament.
The Final Testament comes around. Now you're like, who's going to stop?
Who's going to stop that?
I could see them feuding with the Bloodline.
Absolutely.
Judgment Day.
I am happy for Karrion Kross. They finally they're trying to get something going for him here. Everything has kind of fizzled out so far, but we will stay tuned to find out about that. And we pop backstage now, and it's Dragon Lee. He's backstage talking on the phone, and in comes Elektra Lopez, and she's asking Dragon Lee if he was on the phone with Rey Mysterio. She's just trashing Ray, trashing Dragon Lee, telling him that he looks like a kid dressed as Rey Mysterio, and in comes Legado del Fantasma, and they're poking fun at Dragon Lee. They're laughing at him. Santos is telling him that Ray and the LWO are a thing of the past. The present and future are them, is what he's telling him. And he's telling Dragon Lee he's nothing. Dragon Lee's just had enough at this point. He pushes Santos and Humberto, and needless to say, he gets pushed down after that. So Dragon Lee's going down. There's too many hands, and he's the only one there. Ray is not around currently.
I'm interested to see where this goes. I really think that Phantasma needs to add another member.
Yeah, it's kind of not complete
yet.
yet.
Andrade to that
Andrade El
equation.
Idolo. That would be cool.
I think that's how you make that pop a little bit. You make it a little more serious. Now you
Yes.
got, Andrade. You got the up-and-comer Escobar, who really looks like he could be something someday.
He could.
And
He's
you
on the
have
right track for sure.
The youngster NXT stars, Angel and Humberto,
Yes.
which really are kind of impressive themselves. So
Yeah,
that
they got some
foursome right
moves.
there would be able to battle against the LWO and keep us entertained
For sure.
for quite some time.
Yeah, a couple
right
pay-per-view
now,
matches.
as it
what I mean?
stands, they look powerful. The Phantasma, they look
They do.
powerful, but put them numbers to numbers against the LWO, and they're outnumbered. They got
Right.
Carlito, they got Rey
Exactly.
Mysterio,
Hall of
they got
Famer
the tag
Rey.
team. So that's 4 right there, and a girl. So
Right. So good luck with that, basically. Next match of the night, we get Michin from the OC versus our girl.
who's really lost?
Yeah, she's definitely lost.
Wondering where she
Versus,
stands.
yeah, right. So, and it's proved again in this match. She's going up against, she's in a one-on-one match with Buff Barbie, Tiffany Stratton.
Oh boy,
It's Tiffy time, folks. Once
big
again.
pop, big pop.
Yeah,
it's like we get it, Joe, and I
Yes.
didn't know if it was just a me and you thing that we were such fans of her right now, but
yeah,
the
right.
crowd gets
Apparently,
it too.
it's not just us.
The crowd gets
They
it.
kind of worked her
She
in.
backs it up though.
She does. They kind of worked her in as a heel type thing. They wanted you to hate her, and we just saw her in that Elimination Chamber, and even before that, and it was just like, okay, yep, it is Tiffy time for sure. So she just dominates Michin here, mops the floor with her. Michin did get in some cool stuff. She tried the Styles Clash. She missed it. Tiffy goes up top. 1, 2, 3, the prettiest moonsault ever. And
Which is a beautiful move. And
Yes,
can I
beautiful.
just say that during this match at one point, Tiffany did like some handspring type of move.
Yep, the
It was like
back
a
handspring.
triple flip kind of looking thing.
So
with
cool.
a clothesline in the corner.
Yes.
Like that's what's going to separate Tiffany from the rest. That's why
100%.
she's popping, because not
Yep.
only does she have her character down,
She
she's
does.
in character, she looks good, she's great size, and she wrestles.
Yeah, she's got the moves to back it up. All that Tiffy talk, she can go ahead and show you what it's all about. Prettiest moonsault ever is a thing of beauty. She wins this match, and she continues to roll on her road to WrestleMania. We'll see if maybe she can have a WrestleMania moment or a match even.
Now we go to a segment with AJ Styles, which he just looks like somebody just kicked his puppy.
Bad guy.
He's just in a bad, foul mood lately and everything. But he gave us some insight. He actually went back and kind of gave us a story of what his problem is with LA Knight, going
Yes.
way back to when he clotheslined him unexpectedly after, was it Elimination Chamber, the next Raw, or it was one of those episodes?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but he explains that this is the reason why he flew halfway
He's stealing
across
his
the world.
spotlight and he hasn't earned anything to do
Yeah,
with it.
right. He's saying that he's stealing the spotlight of the Phenomenal One, and that LA Knight is just a flash in the pan. He's
Yep.
not deserving of all of this, and he also says he's not deserving to be in the same locker room as LA Knight, meaning AJ Styles there. And he's looking mean, like Mike said. He's looking shredded, and you can only assume they are building up to a massive, massive WrestleMania match with AJ Styles and LA Knight. The two former TNA guys can go out there at the granddaddy of them all and really put on a show. I really think they can. And then immediately after that, it's our guy LA Knight. Yeah. And he's got a TV in front of him. He just watched the same promo from AJ Styles.
I felt like AJ's promo was pretty good.
It was good.
How's LA Knight going to come back from
Right.
this promo? But he did it.
How's he going to follow this? But like he said just now, it's LA Knight. We're not worried. He's literally going mental at this point. We have not seen him this crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've seen him this crazy yet.
He literally stands up out of his chair, folds up his chair, and smacks the TV
Smacks
with
the
it.
TV.
And yeah.
Yep. Every hit of the TV, the crowd's going, yeah. He's basically like, AJ Styles, yeah, the phenomenal one, huh? Phenomenal, yeah. Hits that poor TV. Never stood a chance against LA Knight here, and he's just on. He's on a rampage for sure right now. He hasn't put that chair down since Elimination Chamber, and like I said just a minute or two ago, this is really building. This is getting hot, and I really think we're going towards a WrestleMania match between the two of these guys. We cut backstage now. It's Tyler Bate. He's not in a great mood apparently either. Everyone's kind of pissed off tonight on SmackDown. And Tyler Bates playing WWE 2K24. In comes Pete Dunne. They're talking about how they have to go to Nick Aldis and kind of get an update on this tag team championship situation. Bate is then like, he's on his way out now. He's kind of getting to the point that, we shouldn't be playing video games right now. Mm-hmm. So he leaves.
Needs to focus.
Right, we need to focus on, our tag team contention.
Well, how we're going to get that match again.
Right,
how
exactly.
they're going to get back to that tag team title match.
Yeah, they just had that match, and they did not get it done. So Tyler Bate walks out, and then Pete Dunne looks at the camera real quick and kind of picks up that Xbox controller, and he's like, all right, I guess I'm going to play this game now. Next match of the night, it is Angel with the Phantasma guys versus Dragon Lee, building forward from their backstage segment earlier. They now have a match. Dragon Lee, all that luchador stuff is what we see here.
Angel having a singles match.
Yeah.
I haven't seen much of this.
Haven't seen much of that, and we did have the lackeys outside. There was a spot where Dragon Lee did a big senton to the outside, taking everybody out here, and though it was a close match, Angel throws Dragon Lee to the ropes, and he goes for this sit-out powerbomb that he does, but the Dragon actually ends up reversing that into a Hurricane Rana, into a Hurricane Rana type cover, and the ref counts to 3. Your winner is Dragon Lee.
He got it.
He gets some vengeance for, getting picked on backstage by the big bad Phantasma guys. And after the match, all hell kind of breaks loose, and this is a curious thing here. The LWO is nowhere to be found. They don't come out, and it's all of Legado del Fantasma just attacking Dragon Lee and, just really giving him a beatdown. LWO's nowhere to be found. Where are these guys? Why are they not helping Dragon Lee out right now?
Then we go backstage, and it's a pretty intense shot of Damage Control. We have all the members sitting there.
Yeah.
Asuka comes out and speaks some things in Japanese, which it translates. And
yep,
so
same with Kairi Sane. Yep,
and so
exactly.
does Sky. But then Dakota's the one that's speaking English, so she seems to be kind of the spokesman,
She's
the talker
the leader.
of the group.
Yeah.
They're going to say some things, and I don't know, I kind of like how they're doing the translations and stuff. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it helps that they're not trying to speak English and sounding really weird.
Yeah, do something that they're not comfortable with.
Do something, yeah, exactly.
This kind of feels a little
So
better.
they do it a little bit different.
But
Dakota is explaining that she's always been the brains of Damage Control, and that Bailey should have saw this coming, is what she's saying. Even though we kind of had an idea too, we were hoping it wasn't, but it is what it is on that. And Dakota Kai follows up with a challenge now to Bailey for a match between the two of them on SmackDown next week, so that'll be interesting to see. And then we pan to another shot of the WWE security guards outside of Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins' shared locker room. In comes Nick Aldis, SmackDown GM, and he knocks on the door, but no one's answering, so automatically we think, is there trouble? We don't know. He then looks inside. Nobody's there. Seth and Cody are nowhere to be found. He asks one of the security guards, what's going on, what the deal is, where they are. He says he doesn't know, so obviously they didn't hire the best security company here. He has no idea where they went, and Nick Aldis just tells them to go, get out of Dodge. We need to go find out where these dudes are right now.
Yep. There's a manhunt now for Cody and Seth.
And now it's finally here. It's the moment we've all waited for. You've waited for it. It is the Bloodline and Cody and Seth and Rock segment that we have waited this entire episode for. Cue Roman Reigns music. Roman Reigns is walking out with the wise man, Paul Heyman, with Solo Sikoa, with Jimmy Uso as well. And they get to the ring. The lights go out, and then we have this new entrance here from The Rock, and I thought it was really cool.
Dear.
It was electrifying.
Oh, my dear. Electrifying to say the least.
Yes.
It looks like a lightning storm in the background
Literally.
of the Jumbotron.
So
and then
cool.
a piece of lightning came down and struck.
It
and there's
strikes
The Rock.
the stage, and here it is. It's Hollywood Rock with a brand new $500
Papa's got a
shirt.
brand new bag.
Yep, and he is making his way down to the ring, getting an unbelievable pop. We don't care if he's heel Rock. We are going to cheer him no matter what. So, he goes to the top rope, does that pose, and it's polarizing the amount of cheers that he's getting. And that leads Roman Reigns to then, dap up The Rock and shake hands. And he then asks Dallas, Texas to acknowledge them. Not just him, everybody. The entire bloodline needs acknowledgement now. And enter American Nightmare Cody Rhodes music. And you're looking for him. You're wondering where Cody and Seth maybe are. And out of nowhere, in comes Cody. He's walking in the crowd. He's walking
without
down.
security.
No security at all.
He actually is doing the opposite. Not only is he not using the security provided to him, but he is walking through the crowd without security.
Exactly. And he's on one side coming down the aisle. People, he's dapping people up. He signed a couple autographs even on the way down.
I saw that.
He did that, and in comes Seth Rollins on the other side now. And he's in this giant jacket. He's looking extremely Seth Rollins. And, they're making their way down to the ring. Fans are loving it. They're dapping up the fans. They finally make it to the ring. And we can't forget that the crowd actually starts singing Seth Rollins' song for him.
Yeah.
Because they both came out to Cody.
They didn't get to hear the song yet. It was just Cody's. So.
It was just Cody, yeah. So now everyone's in the ring. It's a stare down. It's the moment we all have waited for. And now we have security out here. We have the entire fleet. We have Nick Aldis as well. He is also out here. And Cody is starting off by telling The Rock that he has heard his challenge and his stipulations as well.
He's very proper. He's very
proper.
Respectful.
Yes.
Always Cody.
Yep, always top tier Cody here.
In his suit.
In a suit. Oh,
looking
yeah.
Good.
Fully dressed. And he's asking The Rock if The Rock even has the authority to challenge them, because he's saying last week he acknowledged Roman Reigns as his tribal chief. So, he's asking, he's poking The Rock now about where he stands authority-wise, and The Rock immediately cuts that off. He's telling Cody to just shut his mouth.
But he also says, and Seth Rollins, shut your mouth before you even open your mouth.
Yeah, he did say that to the walking clown emoji, Seth Rollins. And, The Rock continues and says he acknowledged Roman Reigns because that's what family does. It's not because he's any lower than him. It's a family thing. And WrestleMania Night 1, if Cody and Seth beat The Rock and Roman Reigns, there's no bloodline interference. And that is the biggest part, I think, of this is do we get to see a bloodline-free WrestleMania main event?
This is what we've all been asking for.
Absolutely.
Are they going to give it to us?
We don't know.
Or are they going to make it unpredictable? I'd say they probably make it unpredictable.
Yeah, you gotta.
But the funny thing is, we won't know until night 1.
Right, exactly. And the other end of the stipulation is if Seth and Cody can't get it done, then it's automatically bloodline rules. Anything goes, and it's not looking good for the American Nightmare at that point.
They'll need a team of 6 to 7, according to Jey Uso in that interview I saw.
Right. Exactly. And, they're getting tired of hearing The Rock talk now. And Seth pulls out a banger of a line. He's calling The Rock Mr. Midlife Crisis.
Well, yeah, you're waiting for Seth Rollins. You're waiting for somebody
he was quiet
to rebuttal
the whole
The Rock
time.
because I love Cody Rhodes, top talent, top person right now, but he did not combat The Rock the way I wanted to.
Right.
Whereas all of a sudden Rollins is like, all right, shut the hell up.
Yeah,
like,
I can't take it no more.
Yeah, he's like,
he just explodes out of
middle-aged Rock.
Middle-aged
or
Rock.
whatever he says.
Mr. Midlife Crisis.
Mr. Midlife Crisis.
Or whatever
right?
it was, and that popped. I love that.
The way to go. He came back. He came back.
He did.
If anybody's going to battle The Rock on the mic, I want it to be Seth.
Seth, for sure. So he came hard at him with that, and the crowd is loving this right now. And they also went with another really, really risky insult here. Roman asked Cody if he's going to let the cross-dresser answer for him. And I was wide-eyed. Was wide-eyed at that point. He tells Cody this is it now at WrestleMania. If he loses, never again will he get another shot at this. So now we're at the point of explosion pretty much. And The Rock is going on a spiel now about Cody and his siblings and how far apart they are.
20 years apart.
Yeah, right. Even though we have to note this, that The Rock's two daughters are like 18 years apart. But we're not going to talk about that.
Nah, that's going to conventionally leave
Yeah,
that
we're going to
out.
conveniently.
Maybe it'll come up in another segment.
Yeah, right. But anyway, he's, The Rock saying, his family's looking down on him. Roman's family's looking down on him. And he even then says that the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, is looking down on Cody Rhodes here. And, he's going with the whole family thing. And he's saying that Cody Rhodes was a mistake because he was born so much later. He was the mistake of the family. Cody Rhodes has no words here. He just kind of, puts the mic down, lowers it down.
Looks heated.
It's still in his hands. Yeah, he looks heated. And then he brings the mic back up like he's going to say something to The Rock. He drops it and smacks the Sonic coins out of The Rock. And automatically the place erupts. It goes nuts. And if you noticed here, I saw after the show, after the fact, that during all this, I guess it was taking a really long time to get to the go home to where the slap happens. You see the camera guys, they're doing this. They're doing this hand motion to The Rock to hurry him up because they are about to go off air. The Rock finally gets it out. He takes the slap. SmackDown goes off air kind of abruptly because they ran out of time, and that is going to end the SmackDown portion of the Source Wrestling Podcast.
SmackDown.
It was a great episode. We are now going to move on to some AEW Rampage. So as we start AEW Rampage 3/8/2024, we open up with a tag team match. It is Kip Sabian and The Butcher versus Trent Beretta and freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. So now Orange Cassidy is in the tag team division right now and trying to work his way up the ranks with Trent Beretta. And this match was actually a really good opener, really solid. We haven't seen the Butcher for a while, so I was happy to see him back, and he's big and, throwing all these big moves out there. And it's everything we expected to see. Orange Cassidy's looking great, but he's just been on this very tiresome run where you start to think he's going to run out of gas at some point. Nah, not the case. The Butcher hits a big German suplex, and Orange Cassidy runs in, orange punch out of nowhere, gets the 3 count. Your winners after the Strong Zero by Trent Beretta are Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta.
It was really good to see the Butcher back.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big fan of Andy Williams, which is his real name. He was the guitarist of Every Time I Die, which is a very, important band.
That is so cool, honestly, that he just became
a
professional wrestler.
I thought maybe he had disappeared, but here he is, and I'm glad to see him back.
For sure. The Butcher is where it's at. Now we cut backstage. It's Ruby Soho. She's looking very upset with Renee Paquette. They're there together. And Ruby just doesn't feel, she just doesn't feel bad about Saraya anymore. She hates her. She's saying she hates her entire family. Her boyfriend now is extremely hurt. and she kind of feels like it's her fault. She's almost in tears, and she includes that Saraya is going to get what's coming to her 100%. Match number 2 of the night, and my favorite match of the night, it was Robin Renegade versus House of Black's Julia Hart, TBS champion. This was not even close. Robin Renegade had 0 chance. This was a house rules match, which means that Julia Hart could not hit that moonsault off the top rope. There were no top rope moves allowed in this match. That was the house rules. You would think that might You would think that might hinder Julia Hart a little bit. Was not the case. After the Northern Lariat by Hart, she locks in the Heartless submission hold and taps out Robin Renegade, and Julia Hart is just looking strong. She's rolling, a big win for her, and, defending her championship, and she comes out on top. We then cut backstage. It's now Saraya in the back, and she's putting all the blame on Ruby Soho now. She's saying it's all Ruby's fault, and, this is why it's come to this, and her brother Zach Knight is there, and he's trying to yoke up some random pair of dudes, I think security guards or whatever they may have been, and Saraya's like, no, stop it, don't do this, and the next thing you know, she's like, just kidding, do it. And this Saraya's brother Zach Knight is just destroying these guys backstage and acting just like a wild animal, and that's gonna be the end of that segment. Match number 3 of AEW Rampage is Axel Andretti versus Penta El Zero Miedo, and I am a massive Penta fan. This dude is awesome. He's got La Parka vibes a little bit from WCW for me, and Action Andretti, while he did hang in there with Penta, from Top Flight, it was a really, really good match. Needless to say, he tried this once. Penta tried hitting the Fear Factor, couldn't get it. Andretti actually was able to counter it, but lo and behold, a little bit later, Penta El Zero Miedo hits that Fear Factor for the 3 count, and he is your winner of this match. And it's main event time. It's the triple threat tag team match with Top Flight versus Private Party versus Commander and Bounty Hunter Brian Keith. Something worth noting here for me is during the entrances of Commander and Bounty Hunter Brian Keith, they both came out with these ponchos that looked awesome. They could be a team. I really think so. Really loving what Bounty Hunter is doing right now. Ever since he got offered the AEW contract, he's honestly been out there killing it, just taking what he's getting handed to him, and really, really doing a good job. And this match was pretty cool. Lot of back and forth here between the 3 teams, and I honestly didn't really have a team that I wanted to win. If I had to pick one, it would probably be Bounty Hunter and Commander. And Dante Martin now takes out Private Party on the outside, and Darius finishes this match with the Ripcord Powerbomb Facebuster. And the winners of this triple threat tag team match are Top Flight, and they're rolling. Dante Martin just had his big moment at AEW Revolution. He came up short, but still representing for Top Flight. And this is going to conclude the AEW Rampage portion of this show. We'd like to thank you for listening, and we are going to continue on with AEW Collision 3/9/2024. They kick it off in Duluth, Georgia at the Gas South Arena. And we get a match. We get a match right away. It is American Dragon Bryan Danielson versus Shane Taylor from Shane Taylor Promotions. And this match was surprisingly good. Obviously, we know Danielson is, legendary status, but I haven't seen too much of Shane Taylor, and he honestly really surprised me here. These guys had a really good up and down match.
It was a good match.
I liked
especially seeing as though how Bryan Danielson is always popping. They're always giving him the yes.
For sure.
Came out to the yes.
Yeah.
And they did it during the match,
Did it during the match. Yep,
for the knee.
During the yes kicks is where you get that. And,
he did get him with that knee, though.
He did, yes.
He did.
Shane Taylor put up a great fight. Either way, it's the American Dragon with that psycho knee to end this match. 1, 2, 3. Your winner is Bryan Danielson. And here's where it gets really fun. Because after that, Danielson celebrating his win, out comes Will Ospreay. And kind of exactly what Danielson did to Ospreay here last week. And Ospreay comes out, massive pop as well. You got two big baby faces in the ring. And he congratulates not only Bryan Danielson, but Shane Taylor as well on a hell of a match that they just had. And he's out there acknowledging the fact that Bryan Danielson is one of the best to ever do it. And he's really congratulating him and, telling him that, he's not only looking up to him, he also wants to wrestle him.
Yeah, he comes out really positive, pumping up and promoting him. But
yeah. It gets to the point where he's just like, okay.
Moment. He's like,
yep.
but,
bruv, I'm here to
the
fight.
bruv came out a little later.
It did, yeah. I'm here to fight, and they then lock in a match at the next AEW pay-per-view.
Yeah, Ospreay was not a big fan of how Danielson came in and pretty much, interrupted his celebration after his win.
After that mega match with Kyle Fletcher.
It was a little bit insulting, So, here we go. But it still became respectable.
It did.
Ospreay after their segment was still hailing him in the ring.
He was bowing him, and they shook hands before he left the ring and all that.
It'll be a classy match. It's the kind of stuff we need.
Absolutely.
In AEW right now.
Absolutely. So after that, it's locked in. We're getting the aerial assassin Will Ospreay versus the American Dragon Bryan Danielson in a one-on-one match at AEW Dynasty, and that will be an absolute slapper. And after the break, we're back at ringside, and the EVPs, the Young Bucks, are making their way to the ring for our next match here, as their opponents are already in the ring. And as they're heading for the ring, Matthew teases a coin toss that leads to the coins dropping, signaling the arrival of the Rainmaker, Okada.
Big return.
First time we're seeing him now since the return, and he's being introduced and making his debut as part of the quote-unquote new elite. No more Kenny Omega. It is now Rainmaker and the EVPs, and you gotta think that having this guy now is kind of scary for the rest of the competition. Needless to say, Okada, just goes in and makes a mockery of his opponents, and he hits that Rainmaker.
It was different. Like, I didn't know what to expect. I haven't seen much of him. I expected another Will Ospreay type wrestler, but he's not.
No,
he's got more of a character.
It's
he
more
looks
of
like more of a storyline guy.
It's more he's more like a strong style wrestler, I would say, in my opinion. But he hits the Rainmaker.
There was nothing super impressive that he did to me.
No, I mean,
maybe I need to see more.
They were going against jobbers,
yeah.
So you got to have more talent in the match. But it was just to put him over even more. He hits the Rainmaker, the finisher. 1, 2, 3 pinfall. Your winners, the Young Bucks and Okada, the new elite. Yes, and it is time for a celebration as Eddie Kingston comes running down for revenge from last week's Dynamite, and the elite are fighting him off, and Penta makes his way to the ring to even things up, and Okada is fighting him back now. Okada grabs the Continental Crown Championship and stands over Kingston with it, but then it's the unannounced, the surprise return of the bastard himself, the bastard Pac. And he is he's an amazing wrestler. He's been gone quite a while. He comes out and just makes it rain on the Rainmaker. Everybody, he's just ruining everybody's day.
Quickest feet in the business.
Your boy is fast.
He took it to Okada. He did.
He did.
And honestly, Okada got saved because the Young Bucks actually pulled Okada
they had to get him out of there.
Before he got
had
destroyed.
to get him out of there. They can't lose their new acquisition to the new elite. And Pac grabs the mic and just says, "The bastard's back." So you know that things are going to heat up in this rivalry for sure. Pac is here. We see what kind of direction he's going. He's pissed off, and he's looking faster than ever. And Kingston has the microphone, and he makes a challenge for a 6-man tag team match next week at AEW Big Business in Boston. So I guess we're going to see it continue right there. And then we get a video package featuring Darby Allin, and he's setting his sights on Switchblade Jay White for next Wednesday at Big Business before making his lifelong dream come true when he climbs Mount Everest once again. They're
you got to figure.
So strange, man.
I heard that he made sure when he signed with them that was part of the deal.
It was part of the deal.
He explained to Tony Khan that he does these things and he doesn't want to stop doing these things. So it was
just
either
who he is.
You get Darby Allin with
that
him going to climb mountains, or you get no Darby Allin.
You get no Darby at all.
Probably why,
That's got to be why Tony Khan pulled the trigger, because he doesn't want to live in an AEW without Darby Allin. So, we got to wish him the best of luck, but right now he's focused on big business. And back at ringside, it's Mariah May. She's dressed up still as old school Toni Storm, and she's coming out to the ring for the next match of the night, which is with Trish Adora. And Mariah May has been on a roll, especially dressed up as Toni Storm. It doesn't stop here. Mariah hits that Mayday for the pin. She wins the match, and then as she's celebrating, out comes Timeless Toni Storm. She's making her way to the stage, with the first ever Tony Award with an I, not a Y. She explains she does not want to get sued, so it's the Tony with an I award, and the award is for best performance, she says, and the nomination goes to Mariah May for being Timeless Toni Storm.
And she was the only nominee.
We did not have choices.
I was very worried if she was going to win or not, but
right.
It was very cleverly done.
She got it done. Yeah, she wins.
Mariah May coming out still dressed as old Toni Storm?
She is. Yep, she's still coming out dressed as old Toni Storm, and wins best performance. And Tony's very happy for her. She comes out. She's congratulating her, and out comes the person we thought Tony already disposed of.
We were done with this, but it ended the way I wanted it to end.
Right, it did. It ended with Toni Storm with the shoe putting her foot down on Deonna Purrazzo's chest, as it should be.
Mariah May put the slipper down on her, on Purrazzo's back or
chest or whatever it may have been. It ends with Timeless Toni Storm standing supreme, and they go to the backstage area, and all is well. Up next, we get a video package for Riho versus Chris Statlander. Highlights between their issues and Stokely Hathaway and Willow having her sights set on Julia Hart in the TBS Championship after she faces Riho next week. And back at ringside now, the Patriarchy heads down the ramp for the next match, which is Nick Wayne versus Adam Priest. Is that like Damian Priest's long lost jobber brother? I've never seen this guy in my life.
So
it did appear so, and this was Christian was out there for this, but he honestly wasn't even needed. Nick Wayne hits that Wayne's World and ends this match with Adam Priest.
This was needed. We haven't seen a lot from Nick Wayne.
Not by himself, yes.
It's been like a year. It's been like how long?
It's been a while,
we saw them get together with the Patriarchy.
I can't say exactly how long.
I don't know, but we haven't seen Nick Wayne at all. And to see him fight and to see him be pretty impressive was needed. So hopefully they keep doing more with him,
They put Nick Wayne out there. He got it done. He made Christian a proud father, and
he did say that. Yeah.
Yep, they're celebrating, and as Christian Cage is walking away, he then gets struck by who is this person? A random fan in the crowd with a luchador mask? Just kidding. It's Adam Copeland.
Of course. Can we just say that Nick Wayne is 18 years old?
18 years old. Nick Wayne.
18 years old.
Look at that. I did not know that. So Cage is really.
Hook is what, 24?
Yeah, so. He's also very young talent as well. So it's Adam Copeland now, and he's just beating the brakes off of Christian Cage, and they come down to the ring, and Copeland has this box. Okay, he's got this box. We don't get to see what's in it, but once he opens the box, it makes Christian Cage retreat, and we want to know why. We don't know why. We'll have to keep watching to see what's in this box. But Copeland grabs the mic and is like, enough games. We're on to Toronto. To make you say two words that you're very familiar with. I quit. So they're building this I quit match.
What is gonna happen?
Right. It is definitely going to be a banger of a match, and we all want to know what's in that box for sure. So. That
was
on.
crazy.
Right? What was
it
in
a
that
bomb?
box?
Is it
right? Or
TNT?
Is it something that Christian Cage is afraid of? Some kind of blackmail?
Yeah.
And he dipped out instantly as soon as that happened.
They love the mystery of it right now.
They do. And we then move to backstage. It's a clear, it's a little dissension between Mark Briscoe, Jeff Jarrett, ahead of their Atlanta street fight later on in the Collision broadcast. And they're saying that, they're all on the same page. Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, they can all trust each other. They just want to get this done and, get this big victory. And, we move on now. We move on to the next match, which is CMLL wrestling star Teton going against Lionheart, Chris Jericho. He brings Lionheart back for this, and I am always feeling nostalgic during that. Corazon de Leon, the Lionheart, was the first version of Chris Jericho that I ever saw, and these two had a banger of a match. I mean, Chris Jericho doesn't look like the Chris Jericho of old, but it was a good match. It was solid. Lots of cool things. We had the Lion Salt. We had a couple Lion Tamer attempts. Didn't happen. Jericho really put Teton over a lot during this match, and needless to say, though, we all know who the Ocho is, and whether he's Lionheart or not, he's throwing in that Lion Tamer and making somebody tap out, and this time it was Teton. The winner of this match, it is Lionheart, Chris Jericho. And after this match, there is no celebration because the Gates of Agony appear out of nowhere, and they blindside Jericho, and you're like, okay, well, this doesn't look good, and harking back to last week in their backstage segment, we now have Hook coming out to help Jericho. He's coming to Jericho's aid, just like he did for him. And he comes out with a kendo stick, and, all is well there. The Gates of Agony are retreating now to outside of the ring. So you kind of got to see that there's a tag team opportunity coming up with Hook and Lionheart Chris Jericho. And we pan back to the ring now with Tony Schiavone, and he is introducing the top guys, the Living Legends,
my
FTR.
boys.
Yes, we love them. Their music hits. They come out to a nice pop, and Dax Hardwood has a giant Band-Aid on his face because of that war that they went through, in their previous match where he was just a bloody mess. And he's getting to the point where Tony Schiavone's asking them about the upcoming tag team title tournament that is now upon us with Sting's retirement and Darby having to relinquish the tag team titles. And Dax is, I wasn't expecting this, but Dax is kind of being hard on himself. We call ourselves the top guys and we're not getting it done. He then continues and says, I don't know if FTR deserves to be in this tag team tournament. And obviously the crowd's booing. They deserve to be there for sure. They're trying to become the first ever 3-time AEW tag team champions. And, his spirit's coming back up and everything's looking good for this tag team tournament. And then out comes the Infantry. And they're cutting a promo now on FTR saying, listen, we acknowledge that you guys are basically the GOAT, but, we're going to come up in this tag team tournament and make it happen. And these guys actually made a Revival joke to FTR. For those of you who don't know, FTR was the Revival in WWE. They poked the bear there, and Dax is like, you know what, man? The Revival's dead, okay? It's FTR now, and we're coming for you and everybody else in this tag team tournament. So, yeah, the Revival's dead, top guys out. That ends that segment. And we move on to the next match of the night. It is CMLL star Místico versus Angelico. Kind of a randomly thrown in match. They got to fill time. I get it. It ends up with Místico locking in a submission and getting Angelico to tap out. And Serpentico shows some protest after this, but Angelico shows some respect with the shaking of the hands, and everything calms down. And Místico is a good sport. He's raising both men's arms out of respect.
Always good to see.
Yeah, you got to be a good sport, man. That's the end of that match, and now we're back at ringside. It's main event time. It is the Atlanta Street Fight. It is the House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews versus Mark Briscoe, Jay Lethal, and
stack.
Jeff Jarrett. Yeah,
Stacked
stacked.
lineup. Wow.
Stacked lineup here. We saw some really, really cool stuff in this match. Brody King, the big beast of the House of Black, just flattening Jay Lethal, putting him through a table flattening him. Lots of those, yeah. And then we had a special segment. We're
talking about House of Black.
Yes.
Buddy Matthews and Rhea Ripley were spotted at UFC 299. While we're on the topic of House of Black.
Yeah, so they're going out together, making it known that this is Buddy's mommy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, back to the match. We had some tables. We had a moment I was very concerned about was Mark Briscoe fighting on the top rope here, and there's a table set up outside of the ring, and there's a pile of chairs set up outside of the ring. It looked like they were supposed to throw Briscoe off the top rope through the table. Briscoe overshot the table, completely missed it, and fell spine first on the pile of chairs.
Ouch.
And it did not look good.
See if any injuries come out of that.
Yeah, Mark Briscoe was able to later get up and finish the match, but it didn't look good at the time. You had to figure this was going to be
brutal, though.
It's the Atlanta
Briscoe
Street
and his
Fight
team against the House of Black. What an epic matchup.
And
yeah, strength.
Exactly. Enough said. The strength in this match is unbelievable. And we then move to the ringside area. There's a table set up, and Buddy's got some lighter fluid. Okay, he soaks the table in lighter fluid. They're still battling after this, and out comes Julia Hart now of the House of Black, and she's got the spike. She's got the spike now.
Spike keeps appearing.
Yep, the spike is back, and she gives the spike to Malachi. Malachi tries using the spike again on Briscoe to open him up like he's also familiar with, and he reverses it. The spike is gone now. And Julia Hart now, her attention is on the table now at ringside that they just poured the lighter fluid over. And Julia is now adding more lighter fluid to this table. They light it up.
Never had enough.
Yep, yeah, right. They finally, she lights it up. The table's on fire. There are flames, and they all pick up Mark Briscoe and like a double or triple power bomb through this flaming table.
Crazy.
And that's the end for Mark Briscoe and his team. Yeah, and as they say, the house always wins.
It definitely does these days with them.
Yes, your winners of the main event of AEW Collision, House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, Buddy Matthews with the assist from the Princess of Darkness, Julia Hart. What a collision. We really, really had a good time watching it. We want to know what you guys think as well. And that is going to end this AEW Collision portion of our show. And we are pumped up for AEW Big Business this Wednesday at the TD Garden in Boston. Going to be some really cool history-making stuff is what they're leading on to. But this is going to be the end of the show, guys. Before we do go, we're going to give you a little bit of what we always do before we leave this house. We are going to give you some On This Day in Wrestling History.
On this day in wrestling history, a few wrestlers were born. Notable wrestling birthdays are Black Taurus, who was born in 1986 of this day, Russ Haas, 1974, Pitbull #1, not to be confused with #2, born in 1967, and Robbie Brookside, 1966. So some of the older wrestling birthdays right now.
And on this day in wrestling history, March 11th, 1993, at a house show in London, England, Sting defeated Big Van Vader to win the WCW World Heavyweight Championship.
On this day in wrestling history, it was a very dark day for the wrestling world. Former WWE superstar Dino Bravo was brutally murdered in his Quebec home at the age of 44. Bravo was shot 17 times, allegedly, due to issues with local organized crime families. The murder was never officially solved.
Yeah,
either.
I do remember the Dark Side of the Ring episode about this, and it's really sad because...
Check it out if you haven't. That
absolutely.
show was amazing.
Good one, yeah. Dino Bravo, you know, he had all the right things going for him, but apparently got a little involved with the family.
Yeah,
you know what I
kind of
mean?
fit his character a little
Yeah,
bit.
for sure.
You
know, rest in peace to Dino Bravo, for sure.
Yeah, and also on this day in wrestling history, as we like to say it, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Well, he was only Steve Austin before that. This was his debut in 1996. Steve Austin debuted his new Stone Cold gimmick at the WWF Raw tapings from San Antonio, Texas. In a double countout draw with Savio Vega, believe it or not. A match between the two would take place at WrestleMania XII a few weeks later. Mark Henry also made his WWF appearance as he press slammed Jerry the King Lawler.
And on this day in wrestling history, March 11, 2002, on an episode of Monday Night Raw from Detroit, Michigan, the NWO, which consisted of Hollywood Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash, defeated Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock in a handicap match. This would be the only time Hogan and Steve Austin were in the same match in a WWE ring. And that is going to end this episode of the Source Podcast. You guys, please follow the show. Please rate the show. It really helps the show more than you guys think. The Source Wrestling Podcast is available on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. Once again, you are listening to The Source, WWE, AEW, All Things Wrestling Podcast with Joe
and
Mike. Yeah. Let us talk to you.
Let us talk to you.
Next time, let us talk to you. Peace.